I could bring you a pizza tomorrow if that's what you want.
We could do that. But we also that reminds me that we have to. I will be at the shop tomorrow with your gift. So
cool. I have yours as well.
Right, unless there's something like because I know sometimes you have April get your books.
As it stands, she's working a full day, and I'm out at my 4:30. I've been working late last week and this week.
Right,
late for me. Like an extra 45 minutes.
You were telling me, it was like 6:30 on non-comic book days.
Yes, it's 6:45 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, again, don't get me started.
When you're not misspelling your last name.
Right.
But all right, that's all. I just wanted to see if you were still on for tomorrow, because if not, I would try to get there early so I would beat April, if that makes any sense, because who cares? It's like I drop mine off for you. It's a 5-minute drive for me to go down and get it at any point, the gift you leave for me. You know what I mean?
And I will remind you to
gift
contact... What was that?
The gift card for April?
I don't give a shit about that.
Okay, then what's the other thing?
I will remind you to contact the person who expertly scans the high-quality resolution scans of the previews catalogs.
Yes.
To have them load up on a flash drive and deliver to you so that you could deliver to me any of them for 1993.
You don't have any of them yet?
I have none.
Oh, see, I thought you had. I'm confused. All right. Because I have on my computer, I'm looking right now. Give me a second.
I'm going to die. Go ahead.
I have 3 months scanned for 93. So
okay.
I'll get it.
So
go ahead. I was going to say because Dropboxing is not easy. 200 and some files. So
say that again.
Dropboxing like 200 and some files. Yeah. I have to go in like from my phone where they're scanned.
Right.
Well, I guess I could do it on the computer. I never really went into my Dropbox, but I'll figure it out. You'll either get a scan or you'll get a Dropbox them. I don't know.
So I'm gonna say I've only mentioned to you at least once a month for the last 2 months.
Right, but I
don't have any for 1993. And you would say, oh, I have the first 3 months scanned. Okay, I don't have any of them. I'll have to get them to you. I know we're on different schedules now. You could maybe Dropbox them to me. I don't want to do that because it's difficult on my phone. I'm like, okay. And then we actually saw each other at the shop within that time frame, and I gave you the old flash drive, and you said, oh, I forgot the other one.
Don't forget, I forgot to give it to you at the movies, too.
And you forgot to give it to me at the movies.
So I had an April moment. You relax.
I'm just reminding you.
All right. Right now, be quiet. I'm deleting. I just found my flash drive. I'm deleting 92 off it.
All right, good.
Okay, so it's gonna take a second to delete, and then I'm actually gonna put all of the 3 months of 93, and I'm starting scanning probably tomorrow night again.
Okay.
By the way, Joe,
you're not gonna watch wrestling tomorrow night?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I guess I'll have to I'll have to sacrifice.
Okay.
Joe, did you know I have 3 months of 93 scanned?
You have 3 months of 93 scanned? Well, I don't have any of the 93 months.
You don't?
Yet. No, I don't have any of them.
Joe, I'm juggling a lot. So, okay.
I know. Listen, I ask you off air, and then you kayfabe me, so that's all I could do, you know?
Yep. Okay.
I'm an open book. Everything's out in the open, you know?
I'm not an open book. I'm psychotic.
Well, listen, I'm psychotic too. That's why everything's out in the open. Well, almost everything. There's like 5% that I keep.
Wow.
That only there's 5% that 5% get to hear about until the 23rd of December, and we'll see how that all works out.
Oh, is the 23rd of December Jeff Jarrett?
No.
Oh, no. 23rd is that stupid wrestling thing. 2 days before fucking Christmas. Jesus Christ.
We might during the course of this, because allegedly, we talk about my Double J figure. They're allegedly in hand and getting ready to ship out today. He had said that they're going to be shipping out by the 14th. We're recording this on the 13th. Many of you are listening to this on Friday. The rest of you who pay on the Patreon are listening to this in the correct listening order. So during the course of this show, the recording of this, if you hear me shriek with delight, that means I got my shipping notification for Double J. But the Double J saga is not over until I have that baby in my mitts, you know?
Right. No, I get you.
Yeah. Because that thing could come stomped on and chewed up and spit out, you know?
Oh, they'll make it good, Joe.
Oh, zombie always makes it good. That's what I hear.
Is that the phrase? Zombie will make it good?
Zombie will make it good, yeah.
Right. I didn't know if, what was it? Undead Semen will, or if it was the guy's name. Is there a guy who runs it?
Yeah, Josh, a.k.a. Zombie Sailor.
Oh, is that his nickname?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was worried. I've been watching it closely. I hope you get your Double J soon.
I do too.
Because I know you talked to somebody about it recently, and they have some stroke in the doll industry. So hopefully they were the ones who got it pushed through to you if you get it.
I don't know who you're talking about that I talked to.
It was in a doll chat. The enigmatic doll guy in the chat who I don't know.
Oh, Fig Daddy. Oh, Fig Daddy. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he told me to go pound sand. You're on your own for this one, Russell boy.
Wow.
He's been salty lately. If he's there at all, So
that is true. He's busy trying to get your Jeff Jarrett shit.
Oh, that's true. He was at the docks trying to get them off the boat that they've been sitting on for the last week, right?
He had his Fig Daddy cool hard hat on.
Yeah. So we're all around on everything. How about that Papa's, which is the pizza place next to our comic book shop, had to go on the internet and squash the rumor and innuendo that they were going out of business.
Okay. I didn't
okay.
see any of that.
Okay, so very rarely am I on Facebook. But I've been on a little bit more often than I'd like lately, and I'll tell you that in part of my week,
Mm-hmm.
Over the last several weeks, we've had numerous people asking about our restaurant closing. We wanted to take this opportunity, there's that word, to set the record straight. Papa's is not closing. Although it is true we are for sale, our plan has always been to keep it business as usual until the time when a qualified buyer comes along who will continue to offer our superior product to our customers. We are truly thankful for the continued support of the community, which has allowed us to become a staple of northeastern Pennsylvania. Once the time comes to pass the torch to a new owner, we will do everything we can to help them to continue not only the success, but also the feeling of community that has been established over all of these years.
Right.
So I didn't even know they were up for sale, let alone
that I did know. That
there was rumor and innuendo that they were going out of business.
Right. Well, what I always heard was that because there's the two brothers and the one's a little bit older and he wants to retire. So the other one, which is younger, but I don't know by how much, he's got a little longer to retire. It's well, if he's going to go, in this world, it's hard to find workers and, making ends meet with a food business and stuff like that. He's if he's going to go, we'd rather sell it. But I had not heard any rumors about, them closing. So,
yeah,
because I know they shut down a lot of days during the week now, at least a few, you know what I mean? Before they were open.
Yeah. So I know there's at least one day during the week where they're closed, right?
Right.
One day during the week where they're closed. They're closed on Mondays, right?
Right.
And then I'm not sure what their weekend hours are. I think their weekend hours are hit or miss, right?
Sunday they're closed now. They used to be open on Sunday.
Okay, so they're closed on Sundays and Mondays, definitely.
Right.
And then I guess it's Saturday that's spotty, But I don't know nothing about business. I don't know nothing about no pizza. But if I had the money, I would absolutely buy Papa's.
I wouldn't.
No?
No. For what? I don't know what they want for it.
No, I don't know what they want for it either. But I'm just saying, I have such fond memories of it.
Oh, I'm with you. But my take on it kind of is, what are you buying? You're not buying the building.
Okay.
They lease that spot.
Interesting.
So what are you buying? Some fixtures and a recipe?
Well, okay. Well, we're buying the name.
Right. Fair enough.
We're buying the recipe.
Yep.
And, obviously we would see about like what the lease would cost to take over.
Right. And I don't know what they're asking for, but like from what I heard, it was a lot. Like do you remember when Maroney's was up for sale? That's another pizza place around here for all the people who don't know.
The down by like St. Anne Street, right?
Yes, that went for sale, and that ended up being sold into the family. So they probably got the Good Brother discount.
Yeah,
they wanted a lot of money for that place. You got the building. And you got the recipe, and then the building had, what do you call it? I think the building had apartments above it. So whether you wanted to live there and or rent, to make your money back, whatever.
Right.
But from what I understood, it was like, oh, well, Papa's wants X amount, and it was more than half of what they wanted for Maroney's with the building. And I was like, nope, I'm out.
Okay. Listen, I'm a sucker, I'm just...
Well, you are. You're nostalgic. I would have bought Top Dog before I bought Papa's.
Listen, if the Top Dog branding was like an IP, was something that you could purchase, I absolutely would purchase it. Get Mr. Top Dog on the phone. I got to talk to him.
I miss Top Dog so much.
I miss Top Dog, too.
Had the best fries in the biz.
The building's empty, the one down by me now.
Right.
The hibachi place there moved to the Chili's.
Oh, I miss Chili's. But ours is a billiards hall now, so.
Right.
So if you want to go up and hustle people.
A billiards hall could become an arcade with greasy French fries very quickly.
Yes, it could. Yes, it could. All I got to do is go up there and hustle the owner in a game of pool, and I could win the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
It's in the way they use it. They call me Dickson City Fats, Joe.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and play them. I'm gonna hustle. I'm like, oh, what end of the queue do you use, sir? But anyway.
Unrelated, I have to tread lightly here. Because people might still be awake. I ordered Ace's big Christmas gift.
Right.
Black Friday weekend to get a deal, save like $60 on or whatever.
Right.
And it was supposed to arrive Monday.
Okay.
And the current shipping arrival date is 2 days after Christmas.
Just give him a picture of it.
Well, we have a plan of how we're going to do it if it doesn't show up. But I have faith because there was a bunch of other stuff that we had ordered that said it wasn't going to be in until like first week of January. And then we got notifications like, oh, this thing, and like it wasn't for like Christmas or something, but it was just something like, oh, we want this, we need this, whatever. We ordered it. It says, oh, we'll ship it'll arrive the first week of January, and then we get the notification. It's like, oh, hey, that thing that we said was going to arrive the first week of January, it's going to be here Thursday, like the 14th or whatever, right?
Right.
So, again, fingers crossed that it shows up. Yeah,
Yep, I get you.
But like I said, right now it's just a lot of stuff in transit waiting for it to get to the house. And we got time. You got a little over 2 weeks, or a little under 2 weeks.
I have faith. I have faith. I think the Jeff Jarrett will be in before your kid's gift.
One or the other. I'll be okay.
It's a race. Let's bet. Let's put some money down.
Listen, you heard how bad I am with my money. I don't want to hear it.
You are bad with your money, but...
So what have you been up to this week? I know your Raiders are mathematically eliminated from next season's NFL playoffs.
And I think already. The next 2 seasons.
Cool.
But yeah, they played Thursday and they were bad. But so I'm not even going to talk about that. But this weekend, my uncle, he has family that they had couches that they want to get rid of, and I'm like a bachelor who has like busted up couches. So I was like, oh, okay, they're not brand new, but they're not disgusting. I'll take 1 or 2 of them. So he's like, oh, we'll get somebody on Saturday. We'll load it up on the truck and we'll bring it to your house. Load them up and bring them to your house. So I was like, oh, who could I get? And I was like, you know who's loyal? That Adam Van. So I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I can do it. So we go over, and I'm like, oh, okay, the house, like where it is. And they're basically like couch recliners. You know what I mean? They're not just the couch. So they're a little heavier because they have like metal parts and everything like that. And they're like, okay, so there's a 3-seater, like he has 3 cushions and like the 2 ends recline, the middle doesn't.
Right.
And then there's a 2 love seat recliner, like a 2. So we're like, okay. And we're like, where's the one? The one's upstairs. I'm like, okay, we go out the sliding doors. They have glass sliding doors down the deck and out and into my truck. Well, where's the second one? And it's down in the basement. And me and Adam were trying to look and see, you know how like some of them, the backs will come off, like you'll push a button and you can take them apart and blah, blah, blah. Well, these were old ones. These don't come apart. So the one down the steps was like super heavy. And it was like me, Adam, and my like 70-year-old uncle. And I'm like, okay, we'll try this. And Adam's trying to be nice to me because, like, you know, he's like, I want your heart to explode. And then my uncle's like old. We're like, so we're figuring out how we're going to get the little one up the steps. And my uncle goes upstairs, and there's a TV right at the top of the steps with a cabinet. And me and Adam are downstairs like, I really don't want to take this one up the steps. You know what I mean? Like, because we got to move all that. And, you know, I was in, like, I'm not saying he was complaining. I was in it on the same way. I'm like, then we got to see how we're going to stand it up because you can't have 2 guys on an end going up, like, when you get
going up the steps, trying to corner around the TV and the cabinet. Right. Yeah.
Right. When you're at the bottom of the steps, it's open because the steps had no railing, if you get my meaning. But when you get halfway up, you have the walls. And I'm like, well, I'm a fat guy. I'm either going to be jamming on Adam or jamming on my uncle on one end. And if you had 4 guys, that's even going to make it worse. So we ended up leaving that one down there. And he said, well, the family members that have it, they're like, they can get some guys. I said, you get it upstairs. And I'll come pick it up. And I'm either going to take it for the house or I'm going to take it for work. So we ended up getting the 3-seater into my house and into my one room, which is now, as Adam labeled it, the comic book nook. So like I have in there like all my bag and board stuff and everything. And I'm thinking about like moving the big TV in there now. But that was our fight, was getting that in the house. So. But once again, I thank Adam for all his, help getting it in. And he worked he said he wanted to slim down. So I said that would help with his weight loss. And that would get his steps in. But it was not light. And I had some trouble because I was helping my uncle carrying it up the steps into my house, like the porch steps, going across the famous porch, as you know, from Porch Talk. Right. And as I was trying to lift it, and I was trying to lift my legs, I'm like, okay, this couch has to weigh X amount of pounds. Then my body weighs X amount of pounds. And even with help, that's a lot of girth to get up steps. And I was like, it wasn't working. So, but we got it in.
As you say that, I'm reminded I forgot to put Porch Talk up this week.
That's okay. I don't mind.
It's only 3 days old. It's been a busy weekend. My mind has been preoccupied, No,
I get you. So that was pretty much everything that I did. And then now I just have to calm my stomach down because Snowmageddon's coming. So,
I tell you, man, everyone's, everyone gets bent out of shape with the snow. And I'm always of the mindset, like, I'll worry about the snow when it's here,
Yeah. But like I said, I always go over this every year when it snows. I have the Cinnabon, I have my house, my father's house, my brother's house, and the apartments.
Right.
So I go crazy in that. It's me. And then I got to find help because my father won't let me do it alone because he's afraid my heart's going to explode. And then it becomes my father calling me, well, did you call these guys? And all these guys are my father's friends from the bar. So it's always fun. It's like I can get them, but if the snow stops after noon, they're all drunk. So like getting them to like shovel snow and use machinery, it's like, oh, all right, that guy's missing a hand. That guy's missing a foot, I
was going to say, don't you have your little
yes.
John Deere tractor gimmick?
Yes, but that doesn't go down all the sidewalks and stuff. And like my brother and my father have like decks on the back of their house that have to be shoveled off. And if you get 3, 4, 5 inches, I'm not saying that's what we're going to get, but I got to do that, and then I got to throw it over the 3-foot railing.
Yeah.
And that's not because they want to make me work. That's because you get snow and ice on a deck. That could bring it down. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's just a lot of work, and it's a lot of like, okay. And when it starts, it's like, if I just had a shovel in my house, I only have to do a sidewalk that's 20 feet, 30 feet, and a driveway, whatever. But now it's, okay, I got to go here, I got to go there, I got to go 2 towns over. And if I start at 7 a.m, if there's more than 3 or 4 inches, I'm shoveling snow and doing snow until 5, 6 in the afternoon. You know, because it's like, oh, we get over here, the machine can do this, but now I got to move this. I got to shovel this way because I can only plow it so far that way. And, oh, where am I going to throw this? And the sidewalk, you know, is 20 feet, and I can't drive the machine on that because there's not enough room between the houses, you know, like, I don't know. I don't mean to be bitching, but that's kind of like what my mind goes through.
Yeah, listen, I asked. I wanted to know, you know?
Right. Got to get like the salt and the Quick Joe because this family member doesn't like salt on their concrete because it ruins it. But they want Quick Joe, and this one wants salt on the blacktop. So I got to bring both when I go. I'm like, just have it ready. No, you'll get it. So
you should open up a business and either get paid for doing this.
Right.
Or that you are paying somebody else to do this for you.
Right. I did that with grass this year, and it was a wonderful experience.
Right.
But I found my art budget going away because of it. So now I'm like, do I want to like dig into that even further to do the snow? Which I do. I would do it, but then everybody else doesn't want to pay. Like, my brother's got a bad back and a bad heart. Like, he had his, like, I don't know how many discs fused years ago. So he can't shovel. His wife isn't going to shovel. And my father's 80. So if they don't pay, they're going to be out there shoveling. And I'm the bad guy if anything happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then do I pay for all theirs?
Get them to chip in?
Yeah, we can. It could happen, but there's like a whole bunch of behind the scenes that I don't even want to get into on that. So,
all right.
You know, I mean, I know there's always ways. So basically I complain, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to do all this. So I'm hoping it's just light snow and I could fire up the snowblower and take that from house to house and be done. So,
yeah, I fingers crossed for you. Hopefully it's not as snowmageddon as everyone else claims it's going to be, you know?
So can I ask you the one question that I'm supposed to ask you now, or do you want me to wait?
Just one last thing, and we can close with that, you know?
Okay.
So I've been jonesing this week because my Marvel Puzzle Quest has been down.
Oh, I saw you on Facebook mention that you're trying to move it to your desktop thing or something.
Yeah, so last Tuesday, a week today, as we're recording this, was the last time I had played. I woke up the next morning and it just wouldn't load. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, right? So I go and I check online. And apparently Google made the developers put some sort of update through so it'll be on the Google store. And whatever the developers did with the update, the developers did the update wrong.
Right.
And anybody who did the update or has a newer phone, like a 2022 phone,
right,
just can't get into the game, right?
Right. Black screen or something like that?
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, it's going to take a couple days. And then, like, when the developers are like, well, here's what's going on with Google, and we're working with this, and so on and so forth. Like, I don't think this is going to be a fix that they have before 2023, right? So Monday they say, they're like, okay, here's what we've figured out what we could do is so that people are can play is we figured out a way to migrate and merge your Google account for the game to Steam for like your PC or Steam Deck or whatever it is that you play. Right. Obviously, we could see the people that are like regular players and haven't been able to get in and so forth, and they're going to take priority as we get them. So on and so forth. And then with that, you'll be able to play on the PC. So at least you could play because like they have made it say it's like, okay, if you were a regular player, like everything that you missed out on for the time the game is gone, we're just going to give to you once the game is back up, like the highest end rewards for these things, right?
Right.
And that don't mean anything. That's digital currency. But the longer the game stays down, the less and less people are going to come back.
Yep. It's like a new number one on a comic. It's you can walk away.
Yes. And so again, a week, and I'm like, okay, let me see if the Steam thing worked. It worked. But if like this Steam thing did happen, I'm like, I don't know, I've devoted a lot of time and like whatever into this game, but like if they can't be bothered to like do their updates right or like get the updates fixed so people can play, like maybe I'll just like take extra naps or something, you know?
Right. Hey, you could maybe read some of those comics, Joe.
I actually did. With the time the game has been down, I've read a ton. I've like tripled the amount of comics that I've read. Right. So with it being on Steam, I'm not going to be playing as much. But like it's still there if I want to play it. But I'm going to try to like keep up with the reading and stuff, you know?
Right.
I want to get the read pile down to 0 by the end of the year, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, my read pile's at 0, so.
Yeah.
Yep, I managed to get caught up this week, so.
Awesome. Good for you, man. I'm jealous.
Right. So then I'll slide into home plate on this.
Yeah.
How's my van?
Well, funny you should ask, Todd.
Mm-hmm.
As if you're unfamiliar with the van that's been parked in front of my house since the beginning of the summer. You want to say 5 months, you want to say 6 months, whatever it is. Once it was there for 2 months, hadn't moved. I called the cops and said, hey, this van's been in front of my house for like 2 months, hasn't moved. I don't know who it belongs to. Oh, no problem. We'll send someone out there to look at it. Okay. 3 months, same thing. In that 3 month time, they put up the sign saying like, hey, we're gonna do the thing with the street sweeper. On this day at this time, make sure none of the cars are parked in the street. Any cars parked in the street will be ticketed. This van doesn't move. Van's not ticketed. Okay. 4 months, I call again. 5 months, I call again. Friend of the show, co-host of We Need Wrestling and Wings on Wings, Brett mentions to me, he's like, oh, you should call the magistrate.
Yep.
Magistrate will do something about it, right?
Magistrate did dick, right?
Well, no. So the magistrate tells me that the cops won't do anything about it unless it has expired plates or registration.
Yep.
Wouldn't you know, the registration of the plates on this expired the end of November. So December 1st, I call, and I get their voicemail. I leave a message, hey, car's been in front of my house for like 6 months, has expired plates and registration, hasn't moved. What are we going to do about it? Nothing. Okay. So I go, okay, it's expired plates and registration. The magistrate said the cops will definitely do something about it. So instead of calling once a month now, I'm going to call every week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I called last week. Same thing. Goes to their voicemail, and they open at 7. It says in their thing that they open at 7:30. I'm calling around like 9:30. Right.
Right. First coffee break.
Right. Okay. So again, call the first week, call the second week, and then I call today as we're recording. Okay. Call, and then I'm on my break around 11, and they call back, and they maybe let it ring once. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I answer, they've already hung up.
You should have been faster.
So I call them back, and I say, hey, so and so forth. I just called. We're missing each other, and I give them the whole spiel again, right? So then I get a call back at about 2, and I wish I could remember the guy's name, the officer's name.
Officer Friendly.
Officer Friendly, and I tell him the whole story, right? And he goes, oh, the magistrate's wrong about that. I go, yeah? And he goes, yeah, if a car is parked in the street, you want to guess how long he told me?
A year.
No, he says, if a car is parked in the street longer than this amount of time, we'll come and ticket it.
I'm going to say 3 days.
3 days.
I knew that. That's what I think I even said that a while back. But anyway, go ahead.
And I said, and he says to me, he says that to me 3 days. And I go, 3 days? I go, this thing has been in front of my house for 6 months. I go, I have called every month asking. I've spoke to people and they told me they were going to send people out and take care of it. And no one has come. And he goes, oh, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Okay. So what are we going to do? He goes, I'm going to send someone over there to ticket it. Okay. So it's 2:00, right? My wife comes home at 2:30 from picking up my kid at school. In that time, they've already put a ticket on the car. Okay.
Right.
So I'm here. She leaves to go to work. She goes to take my kid to drums, whatever, at 4:30. I'm done super secret science at 6:45. Todd, you want to ask me how your van is doing right now?
How's my van doing this second as we record, Joe?
This second right now, well, the immortal words of noted great person, never did anything wrong, Vince McMahon. That van is GOONNEE gone.
Wow.
It's out of here.
Yes.
And there was allegations that it belonged to a crooked house down the street. When my wife had come home, one of the other neighbors had told her that they've had like multiple cars towed right out of their driveway. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't give a shit about the cars in the driveway, their driveway. Don't give a shit about the cars in their driveway. I don't give a shit about the cars that are in their garage. I care about their cars that are parked in front of my house. Right? And I said to my wife, I'm like, I knew it belonged to that house down the road, right? I would have bet you $1 million it belonged to that house down the road. And I knew they left it here because they were getting cars towed from out in front of their house and out from their driveway and out from their whatever. Now that it's gone, it ain't at that house no more. I don't care if it's been towed away. I don't care if they crushed it into a cube. I don't care if they called them to go pick up their cube.
Is this about my cube?
It ain't in front of my house no more. It's gone.
Good. I'm glad.
I wanted to go out there for the show and take a picture of the ticket that was on the windshield.
Right, but it was gone.
By the time I had a chance to go out there, it was already gone.
Oof. You know what, though? Who cares about the bit? It's gone, you know?
It's gone.
And I'll tell you, the reason I knew about 3 days is because I've had over the road truckers who would do like the Chicago run to Scranton and stuff like that. And they would do that on like a certain day, drive out and be back in like 2 to 3 days and then park their truck by their house. And the neighbors hate truckers. You know what I mean? Like, They all want their fucking packages and they all want the shit to move and everything to be like the shelves full at the store. But fuck the truckers. You know what I mean? And it would be like, oh, your truck is outside the house. After 3 days, it would get ticketed because the people would report it hasn't moved in 3 days. Yep. Well, yeah, because he's home for the 3 days and then he's going to go get out on the road again and blah, blah, blah. And that always kind of pissed me off. So, I kind of knew about that. But I'm glad the van's gone and hopefully they'll park the next big thing in front of your house because they're pissed off at you. You know what I mean?
And let them. And now a precedent has been set. Mm-hmm. That once it's the officer told me 3 days.
Right.
So if there's another car that's not mine that's parked in front of my house for longer than 3 days, on the 4th day I'm calling the cops.
Yep.
And I knew it was 3 days because I mentioned here on the show when I would go on my pokey walks when it was warmer out, and I would walk up by the school where near where Brett lives, and I would see a car. And I would walk by and I would see that same car in the same spot on Monday. I would see that same car in the spot on a Tuesday. Not even a spot, like on the road. I'd see it on a Wednesday, and then on a Thursday, I'd walk by and I would see that it would have the sticker on the car. Not even a ticket where they put the sticker on the windshield that says like this car is abandoned, move it. Right? So after the 4th day, multiple times over the last 6 years up the road, I've seen them do that to cars. So the fact that this thing sat in front of my house for 6 months is such bullshit.
Yep.
But it's gone. It's over.
At least it won't be entombed in the giant snowstorm now, Joe. So you're
right.
good.
And that was the other thing that I mentioned to the guy. I'm like, we got the snow coming. This car's been sitting here for 6 months. if we get as much snow as they're saying and they try to plow my road, they're not going to be able to plow the whole road because of this goddamn car in front of my house.
Yep. So, well, I guess all's well that ends well, Joe. So
one thing down, right?
Mm-hmm.
The van's gone. I got my Marvel Puzzle Quest on Steam. Double J is going to be here before Christmas. And my kids' ping pong table is going to be here before Christmas as well.
Right. And you know what else, Joe? I have a flash drive filled with stuff as of right now.
Get the hell out of here.
So all I have to do is, make it safe to eject.
Yeah.
I hate that you have to do that. I don't understand why in this day and age I have to eject something. But there we go. If you can hear it, that's my, that's your USB filled with scans. So.
And one last thing, of course, we mentioned the Patreon at the beginning of the show. I'll mention the Patreon here one more time. We will have Previewing the Past, December 1992, coming out for the $5 folks. Everyone else, I think, is getting the last of the Puro Mounties this week.
Interesting.
And then also on Friday, there's another episode that's dropping. A surprise episode, a secret episode, something that's been in the works for about 13 months. And I'm very happy. The post is already loaded. So check both. It'll be on both feeds just to cover all the bases, Right. And I'll probably put it up on the Patreon, like for free, that you don't have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited for this one to go out and people to hear it,
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it. That's everything, right?
I believe so, Joe.
Perfect. Cool. Episode 422, Longbox Heroes After Dark. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you all here next week.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.